Hey, Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for my series Scrapbooking Boys to Men, where my friend Christine and we use the letters of the alphabet to inspire us at each episode, scrapbooking masculine pages across the lifespan. So I have gathered here a bunch of Ellie's studio goodies, mostly old, but inspired by some of the recent stamp releases for the date dated, inspired by the new year coming up, stamps that came out, and I am going to use a few of those. That highlights card there, it's a 3x8 card, and then those stamps on the right are sort of what inspired me to use Ellie's Studio, and then I've thrown in a few extra goodies. Again, some of this is really old stuff. I just pulled out color palettes, and so I am working with green, yellow, and blue as the theme colors here, and my letter G is the letter of this episode that we're working this week, is goals. My last video for F, I got a lot of great recommendations from all of you, and I really liked gesture and games, but I didn't have photos that inspired me on either one. There's a particular gesture that my son makes that I really wanted to do, but I couldn't find a photo of that, and I couldn't get him to do the gesture either. He didn't know what I was talking about. So goals it is. And so what I've done here is I've cut down this highlights from 3x8, and I'm going to use these stamps from the daily detail stamp set and go through the different colors. There's 3 days that I want to do. So I'm going to do Friday, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, and Sunday evening. And I'm going to skip through this because literally all I'm going to do is change out the stamp and change out the colors. But it was a Friday evening swim event, a Saturday morning, Saturday evening event, and then a Sunday morning, Sunday evening event. So I wanted to put his times from each of those events in there. And so morning and evening, the little stamps came from the daily tabs stamp set, and I used Catherine Pooler inks. The colors that I used, the blue was suede shoes, the green was grass skirt, and the yellow, which has a hint of orange to it, was sauna. I wanted to distinguish the days in that, and that's what I did. So you can see I originally had that blue side of it, but it was very heavy and dominant to the right-hand side. And so when I went to cut the blue to put it down, I found the gray and I was like, ooh, that is a whole lot better. And I like the way that the gray in that strip on the right-hand side complements the gray that's in that highlights page there. So again, I rifled through my 3x4 cards and came up, you can see the whole stash of cards that are over there to the left. That one that says today is actually from Coco Daisy from a long time ago, but the rest is Ellie's Studio. So I went with that collection over there on the left-hand side, again, just for a splattering of color. I've got that really large block of green, and I like the way that that green selvage strip down the left-hand side, that branding strip, matches with that. And that branding strip, that is from Family Fun, a collection. It was like a Thanksgiving collection from, it wasn't even Thanksgiving, it was family, but it was around the same time that the Thanksgiving collection came out from ages ago. I don't even know the date at this point. So I thought I'd layer up these 3x4 cards behind this highlights 3x8. And the reason that I wanted to do the layering behind it is, again, just for some color, to pull more color into that left-hand side of the layout there. I trimmed this because I really thought that I was going to use the stars from the other border somewhere else in the layout to tie it all together, but there really doesn't end up being much space for that. Honestly, this layout ends up being a lot busier than I thought it was going to be. So a little bit about the title of this layout. So goals. Nicholas, my son, is 18, and he committed to swim at Alabama last year and has since changed his mind. and is now going to swim at Virginia Tech. But in the process of that year-long sort of evolution of events, he did not have a great year last year swimming. It wasn't a terrible year, but it wasn't a great year. And then COVID set in, and he was out of the water for 2 or 3 months, which was really tough on not only him physically, but on his mental health as well, because that's how he sort of thrashed things out in the water. And so this was his first really big meet back in the water, and he had some big goals, and that's what this is all about. I don't actually journal about the goals because I don't want to air his goals. That's for him to do. So this was more of me documenting that he had big goals, and then my response to that whole weekend. And because the bulk of the journaling really is his times, on that left-hand side in that highlighted spot there. So I have die cuts that say goals that I used my silhouette from, and it's a die from the Silhouette store. If you just put in goals in the search, that's I think it was the first one that came up. And so then the photos, actually one is a photo and one is a screenshot. The photo is actually also a screenshot. Thanks to COVID, you cannot, because of social distancing, each swimmer is only allowed to have one spectator on the pool deck. And I decided to let my husband go, and so I watched from home on the webcam, which is a new webcam for our team. It wasn't the best, but something is better than nothing, and it afforded me the ability to watch this boy of mine reach some of his goals, or head down the pathway to reaching some of these goals. It was a great meet for him, and it was nice to see that boost of confidence come back. So using some ThermoWeb to apply liquid adhesive to these really thin cuts. And now I'm going to apply all of the things down. You can see that leaves a really big open green spot there. And I thought I would mitigate that with that yellow ampersand card, 3x4 card at the top right there. But the problem with the ampersand is it was going to have to say something. So it would be goals and fill in the blank. And I couldn't find anything in my phrase stickers that filled in the blank or that was really applicable to what it was, the story that I was trying to tell. And so I will get rid of that, and then you'll see in the close-ups and as I continue to build the layers in this layout that I end up filling that green space. You won't actually see me fill it on camera because it ends up being the title, and I'm going to use some more Elle Studio to fill in the title there. But I knew that it wasn't just going to get left blank, but I also knew that I wanted some yellow there. So that card there that I put just put that yellow goals on says focusing on, and then there was a checkbox for today, this week, and this year, but I wanted it to be focusing on goals. So a continuation of my title with goals being the title streamed throughout the layout. I liked that zigzag punch that I used, border punch, because the zigzag to me tied it. It broke all of the solid lines. It gave a little bit of movement to the page, as well as the movement to goals, which was cursive, and everything else was sort of rigid and blocky. So that just broke it up and gave your eye sort of more movement across that page there. So you can see there where I decided to ditch the ampersand card, and now I'm going to pop up these circular elements from a kit. And so what ended up happening is this is one of the summer kits that I pulled, and so these were the dies that came with that kit, and the bottom one says watch me and that top one says 100% yes. So they were perfect for the color, and the sentiments worked very well on the layout as well. So you can see I'm still trying. I really feel like I need some yellow up the top there, and I need something. So now I'm using phrases from I think this is the goals. This is either the This Is Us or the phrase goals phrase stickers. Anyway, they're old stickers, phrase stickers. And so the one at the bottom says today is full of possibilities, and then the one up the top says good things are happening. So just all sort of support statements to the layout. So there's my yellow. It is some old illustrated Faith washi and a Bella Boulevard puffy sticker. I could have used Elle Studio. I just happened to have those on my desk, and so that's what I grabbed for, but I will go and get some Elle Studio as well. And then that phrase sticker says real life. So again, they're all just relevant phrases to the story that I'm telling. They're not necessary, but I like the support elements that they provide to the layout there, as well as from a design perspective, they're creating some color contrast and balance to the remainder of the layout there. So I was able to get the contrast of all of those colors up there. I feel like I need to have a few other stars, and so here's the Elle Studio puffy stars. I found the hearts, but I wanted to stick with the star theme because I already had the stars that were in that 3x4 card at the bottom left there. And that, my friends, is pretty much going to wrap it up. So again, this is a series that I'm doing called Scrapbooking Boys to Men, Scrapbooking Masculine Layouts Across the Generations with my friend Christine. Be sure to head over to her channel and see what it is that she has to do. And coming up next, obviously, is the letter H. So tune in 2 weeks on the third Friday. Typically, we release these on Friday to see what that is. And if you've been working along with us, I'd love for you to tag me and see how you've been moving through the alphabet for your masculine pages. So I've been rambling. Enjoy the close-ups. You've seen most of them already. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.